All right, good afternoon. This is the Montesano Municipal Court for the City of Montesano, Washington. It's February 8th. We are doing court both in person and by Zoom. Everything is being recorded, and we are live on YouTube for public broadcast. I have arraignments up first. I see the jail is logged on. If they're ready, they can bring their prisoner online and we can handle that matter, or simply let me know when the jail is available. I see looks like we are connected to the jail, and have a matter coming on for arraignment. Rodney Allen Keck III. Mr. Keck, is that you on the other end in custody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, you are here today for violation of a protection no contact order that's alleged to have occurred in city limits. That's a gross misdemeanor offense. It can carry a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. You do have rights in this court. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, you can also hire your own attorney. You have a right to a speedy and timely trial. You would, at trial, have a right to hear and question witnesses who would come to testify against you and have witnesses testify on your behalf. If convicted at trial, you have a right to appeal your conviction. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To the charge of violation of a protection order, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Oh. Guilty?
Okay, so you're saying that you'd like to plead guilty to the crime, even though it's a serious charge. You haven't talked to an attorney about it. You would
I haven't
still
talked to anybody about
What's
anything.
that?
I haven't talked to my attorney at all.
Right, and we're here today for an arraignment. I can appoint one to represent you if you'd like me to do that.
No, it's okay. We'll just take care of it now.
Okay, if you're going to plead guilty today, we'll need to send and you want to proceed by yourself without representation, is that correct? Without an attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right, we will have to send you a waiver of counsel form and a statement of defendant on plea of guilty to fill out. I'm going to check in with my court clerk and make sure we can fax that over to the jail and take care of it today. So I'm going to move on to the rest of my docket. We're going to try to make arrangements to get paperwork to you.
Okay, so I mean, what happens now? I'm not understanding.
So what happens now is you're saying that you want to enter a plea of guilty. In order to do that, I need you to fill out what is called statement of defendant on plea of guilty. And if you are representing yourself, which it sounds like you are because you simply want to enter a plea of guilty today, because you have a right to an attorney, you need to waive your right to an attorney to proceed what's called pro se on your own. So if you're prepared to do those things, we can get the paperwork to you so we can take your plea and probably move on to sentencing.
Okay, and what is that? I mean,
Hold on, just looking for a second.
so I don't know what I don't know what sentencing holds unless I have an attorney, right? Or can I ask that?
No, you can all appoint an attorney to represent you.
How long does that take?
Well, I can appoint an attorney today. This court is not McLaw, so it's not like you can just drive up and an attorney magically appears. We'll appoint an attorney. He'll make arrangements to meet with you at the jail and attempt to resolve your case before your next court date.
Um.
Yeah.
Okay, what was my last court date about?
You were not before this. This is your first time before this court,
I
sir.
had court 3 days ago, 4 days ago. I wasn't there. Someone signed for me. I didn't sign anything.
Right. I set release conditions and I set bail. That was not a formal court hearing. I'm not going to go through and argue with you, sir. I have plenty of people stacked up here for arraignment. And so we need to know if you're entering a plea today, we'll need to get you paperwork. Otherwise, I will consider appointing an attorney to represent you, and we'll reset this case for a pretrial hearing with your attorney. Are you not understanding the proceedings today?
Yeah, I'm gonna need an attorney. I'm
You would
sorry.
like an attorney?
Yeah, I need an attorney, please.
Okay.
'Cause, I'm not just gonna go blindly into it.
And that's probably a good decision.
Oh,
So,
well, hold on. I think I have an attorney. I can just, I mean, if I need an attorney, I can go get my lawyer. If I need to call my lawyer, I can call, I mean, I can call my lawyer,
and where's your lawyer? New Mexico or Colorado?
New Mexico.
Then he's not practicing unless he has a Washington license to practice law in this state. He's not practicing in my court.
Okay, I'll ask my, I mean, then I'll have to get a, I mean, I'll have to call my mother and ask her what's going on then, because she'll let me know. Because this
Well-
is a family lawyer.
I'm going to appoint the city's public defender to represent you. We'll provide you with his contact information and he will make arrangements to contact you in the jail. For the time being, since you've asked for an attorney, a plea of not guilty will be entered, and we'll reset this case February 22nd. That's the day attorneys are present. And hopefully you'll have made contact with that attorney and potentially you can resolve your case on that day.
That's a long time. I'll plead guilty.
I'm not going to take a plea of guilty today. You're all over the place. You've asked for an attorney. I've appointed one to you. I'm going to leave release conditions set with bail. And so you'll be provided your attorney's contact information and we will see you back on the 22nd.
I'll just plead guilty. That's what I plead. That's what I pled at first. I pled guilty.
Right. And then you asked for an attorney and you seem
Because I wasn't
somewhat
understanding-
confused. I'm
I'm sorry.
done arguing with you.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I don't mean to interrupt you or anything like that. It's just that I'm not used to this.
Based on your criminal history, I would beg to differ. So I've appointed an attorney. I expect you to utilize him. We'll get you that attorney's contact information as soon as we can. If your attorney needs to set this case for a special setting before the 22nd, he knows how to do that. But for now, we're done with your arraignment. All right. Next we have Richard Gillum. I see he's logged in, ready to go, waiting patiently. I just need to find a file. All right, Mr. Gillum, if you can unmute yourself.
Yes, Your Honor. My internet's really spotty. I apologize.
You're coming in just fine, sir.
Okay,
So-
good. Thank you.
Were you previously here for arraignment? I have a completed statement and request for public defender.
I don't think I've been to court on it. I might have.
Okay, maybe you filled this out in advance. It's dated January 18th. So,
Oh, I did that when I quashed the warrant. I did. Kay gave it to me, and I filled it out.
okay, I see. All right, well, Mr. Gillum, you are Mr. Gillum, correctly?
Yes, Your
Correct.
Honor.
Okay.
Yes.
You're here today. You're charged with the crime alleged to have occurred, theft in the 3rd degree within city limits. This is a gross misdemeanor offense. It carries a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. You have rights in this court. You have a right to an attorney, a right to speedy trial, right to question witnesses at trial and have witnesses testify on your behalf. You also have a right to appeal a conviction at trial. How do you plead to the charge? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
A plea of not guilty is entered, and it looked like you filled out information for a public defender. Is this a correct
Yes, I did
statement?
indeed.
Okay, and this is a correct statement of your financial status?
Yes, I'm about to go to treatment, so I would like it if I had enough time as well to do that. I'm trying to get in as soon as possible. With COVID going on, it's just kind of a pain in the butt.
Okay, have they set a bed date yet or not?
No, when I was about to get one, I had to get a COVID test and it was positive. So now I'm waiting. I just got another COVID test this morning, I'm hoping it comes back negative so I could actually get a bed date.
Okay. Well, we'll appoint and we'll provide you contact information for the attorney that I've appointed as your counsel. And we'll go ahead, we'll reset your pretrial hearing date to March 22nd. That should allow enough time for you to communicate with your attorney. And if you're in treatment still on that day, your attorney can request a new court date. I have no trouble with that. So
Thank you, Your Honor.
the big thing here, Mr. Gillum, is communication. So you've asked for an attorney. I expect you to utilize him. Sounds like getting into treatment's a good first step for you. And you're, in my mind, appear to be taking this seriously. So,
I am.
all
See,
right.
this isn't the only, you can see my record. I got a lot to atone
Right.
for.
Right. Well, we will issue notice of your court hearing to your mailing address indicated, and that's still a Black Creek Road address.
Indeed.
Okay. So we'll send that out along with your attorney's contact information. We'll see you back on March 22nd, or we'll set the case over to a later date if need be.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, you have a good day.
Thank you. All right, the next case I have ready is Jamal William Flowers. And it looks like along with that is a traffic ticket. Can you identify yourself for the record?
I'm Jamal William Flowers, sir.
All right, Mr. Flowers, you are here for your arraignment today. You're charged with driving suspended in the 3rd degree. And did you hear me explain to Mr. Gillum the rights that he had in this court, because the same rights apply to you?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
All right. All right, well, you understand the rights, and this is a misdemeanor offense. It can carry a maximum penalty of 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. To the charge, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Okay. Plea of not guilty is entered, and you'd like to be considered for a public defender.
Yes,
This
Your
is
Honor.
This is an accurate statement of your financial status.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm appointing Killian Duncason. He is our public defender. Today, before you leave court, the clerk will provide you with his contact information, so make sure that you contact him before your next court date. That will be March 22nd. And you were also cited with no insurance violation. This traffic infraction will trail along with this case, so perhaps your attorney can assist you with that matter too. Do you have any questions for the court?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that concludes your arraignment today. Thank you. All right, the court is calling for Shirley Howard. Are you Shirley Howard?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Miss Howard, you're also charged with driving suspended in the third degree, carries a maximum of 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand the rights you have in this court, or do I need to explain those to you?
No, sir, I heard you and I understand.
Okay. Understanding the charge against you and the rights you have in this court, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Plea of not guilty is entered. You've asked for a public defender. And it indicates here that you're employed at Fox Lumber.
Yes, sir.
What's your monthly take-home pay? An estimate of it?
I take home $1,400 a month and my rent is $1,300. I do get food stamps through the state for me and my 3 kids.
Okay, so you have 3 kids that you're supporting as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you're eligible for a public defender. One will be appointed at no cost to represent you. The no insurance violation will follow along with this charge, and we will see you back here in court March 22nd. As far as your release conditions, unless you have a valid license and insurance, it goes without saying you shouldn't be driving.
Yes, sir.
That is a condition of your release. Make sure you contact your attorney before your next court date.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes your arraignment. Please check out with the court clerk.
Thank you.
Mhm. There's a phone connecting. Who else do you have? Madam Clerk, can you tell me who else is present right now? Someone has joined virtually on a Galaxy A32 5G. Can you identify yourself to the court? You'll need to unmute your device.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you identify yourself to the court?
Lonnie Miller.
Okay. Mr. Miller, do you have a video capability on your device?
Why it's not?
Okay.
Hold on.
Well, Mr. Miller, you asked for a mitigation hearing regarding a no
Yeah, I can.
insurance. And it's
Yes.
fine. You don't need to worry about your video. We can hear you. You asked for a mitigation hearing on the no insurance ticket. Did you have insurance when you were cited and just didn't have it available to show the officer?
They didn't take the money out of my account
Who's they?
for that policy. Geico, it usually comes out of my checking account automatically, all it has. And for some reason, they did take it out, so I didn't have at that time, no. I was like lapsed like 7 days or something.
Okay, do you have insurance now?
I do not actually, I went to go get it today and I didn't have enough time before court. I just got money today, to repay for it. But I
Okay.
didn't have enough time before court to do all the paperwork because they had to do a new policy on it because it was canceled
I see. Okay,
because
Mr. Miller,
because of
if-
non-payment.
Mr. Miller, I might suggest that we continue this mitigation over to March 8th to allow you time to obtain insurance, because my decision regarding the mitigation is going to vary drastically if you do have insurance. So do you want to set this over, get insurance, and provide proof of it to the court before your next court hearing?
Yes, sir, I would please like, because I'll have it this afternoon. I just gotta go finish the paperwork and stuff.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and we'll reset your case to March 8th. And between now and then, if you obtain insurance, just make sure you get a copy of the proof of insurance to my court clerk so that it's in the file and we can quickly take care of your case on the 8th of March. Okay?
Yep, I can do that.
All right. Well, thank you for appearing today. That's all for now. I'll reserve on making a decision until next month.
Okay, thank you, sir, and have a good day.
Thank you. Does he have paperwork?
Do I have paperwork?
Oh, no, I was not talking about your case. Okay,
Okay, sorry.
you can go ahead and log off, Mr. Miller.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to call for Roberto DeMauro. Can you state your name to the court?
Roberto Di Mauro.
Okay. Mr. DeMauro, you are, give me a second here. I'm just trying to get to the right page. You're charged with driving suspended in the 3rd degree.
Yes, sir.
That's a misdemeanor offense and it can carry 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine as a maximum penalty. Were you in the courtroom when I explained the rights to a couple defendants that were before you?
Yes, sir.
And you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't need to go over those again.
No, sir.
Okay. And how do you plead today to the charge? Guilty or not guilty?
I already pled guilty, but I was supposed to come back, but it was that snowstorm. You just told me to
Oh.
look that I already did, but I just brought today I was able to do the license and everything.
Oh, terrific. So you are relicensed now?
Yes.
Okay, terrific.
I'm just waiting on the plastic one to come in the mail.
Sure, sure. Well, my court clerk's bringing that back real quick, so I'll take a look at that. All right. Mr. DeMuro, what did you have to do to get your license back?
Just basically, I had to, when I was working at the temp agency, they were supposed to take the child support out. I was under the impression that they were paying it out, but I guess they never did. So I had my suspended license, and I was not even aware of that because I was homeless for a while, so I didn't have any mailing address.
Okay,
So all I had to do is just basically make the payment and pay for the $120 or whatever to reinstate it and everything.
okay,
So now I got them to start taking out the payments and everything.
okay. Well, it sounds like you've remedied the situation since you're in here with a license today. What the prosecutor normally does, and there's a standing motion, if a driver comes in with a license, I have authority to amend the criminal charge to the infraction of no valid operator's license with identification. And so you want me to go ahead and amend the charge?
Yeah, I mean,
All right, I will amend the charge and impose a $180 fine, which is a substantial decrease compared to what could have been imposed in this case, so. You're also cited with a traffic infraction for speeding 10 miles an hour over. What do you intend to do about that?
I mean, honestly, I kind of just started my job because I had to lose my job after that situation happened. I mean, if I can make some sort of payments, because honestly, I have 3 kids. I have the child support or whatever coming up, and still trying to find a place and everything else. And honestly, I don't have that kind of money just all at once.
Okay,
So if the court can some sort of payment plan on both of those, I'll make
yeah,
sure.
and we can do that. We'll, and so you want to enter a finding of committed and get on a payment plan for that
Yes,
fine
sir.
and the other fine?
If it's
Okay.
possible, yes, sir.
All right, the fine on the ticket is 139, so I'll impose that. And then you have the $180 fine on the amended charge. On your way out of court, you can set up a payment plan with the court clerk, and we accept a minimum of $25 a month, so you can have
Okay.
some time to make payments on these fines.
I could do that, yeah, I mean. that'd be
Does
no
that
problem.
work?
Yes.
Okay, all
I
right,
could probably do more than that, but yeah.
okay. Minimum's 25. If you can do more, so be it. And that concludes your case today. Thanks for taking care of business.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, is Noah Brewer in the courtroom? Is Alan Edgar in the courtroom?
He's not in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll recall those. James McClure, is James McClure in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor, he is not.
Any contact with the court?
No.
Okay. We'll recall that matter. Ryan McCain, we have a notice of appearance. Is James Morris in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor.
And Brianna Whitman.
I think she was going to try to appear via Zoom.
Okay, we'll recall all those arraignments. And who do I have in the courtroom right now?
Seth Caton. He's the contested hearing on page 6.
Okay, let me pull that file. Madam Clerk, do you have a case history? I don't see one in the file.
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, if Seth Caton would step forward.
Good afternoon.
And you are Seth Caton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Caton, before we move along too far, you've asked for a contested hearing. That's a way of saying you don't believe you committed the traffic infraction. I was looking at your history, your driving history. You are eligible for a deferred finding if you'd like the opportunity to try and keep this off your record. I'll let you know if you don't want to do that, then we'll proceed with a hearing and that option's off the table.
Understood. I would like that. I'd like to
Okay.
try to get that deferred,
Okay.
if you will.
Let me just make sure I can find the paperwork, but I think that's probably a good choice. Okay, we're just grabbing some forms here. All right, Mr. Caton, you've got a really good driving record here. I hope you can follow through with this. So as far as your deferral goes, your case is deferred, meaning continued for a period of 6 months. The fine being a school zone ticket, I can't lower that fine. So the fine remains at $217. If the fine is paid within the 6 months and you have no moving violations of the law within the 6 months, if those two conditions are met, then the case is dismissed at the end of the 6 months. It doesn't show up on your record, and won't affect your insurance. Okay.
All right.
And if you need to make payments, monthly payments on that 217, you can do so. The court accepts a minimum of $25 a month.
All right. Sounds good, Your Honor.
Okay. Thanks for appearing today, and just watch those traffic control devices in the future.
All right, will do, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. All right, I'm going to go back to the arraignment docket. Madam Clerk, have we had any contact from Noah Brewer?
I was contacted by Mr. Brewer's brother, and I believe Mr. Brewer is possibly inpatient.
Okay. Let's go ahead and reset this for March 8th.
Okay,
How about Alan Edgar? Any contact with the court?
I emailed Mr. Allen his arraignment form. He filled it out. He emailed it back, but he has problems getting on Zoom. So maybe,
Okay, I do see that he appears to be relicensed. Why don't we go ahead and reset to the 8th?
okay,
James McClure, any contact?
no, Your Honor.
Looks like Mr. McClure has a couple warrants out of Grace Harbor District Court. I'm gonna go ahead, since this is arraignment, I'm going to issue a bench warrant in the amount of 500. And the infraction will be noted as committed, the failure to appear. And then we have Harold Haney contacted the court. James McClure, no contact.
No contact, Your Honor.
All right, since we're at arraignment, he's failed to appear. Bench warrant 500. And is it Breonna Whitman did contact the court, so we'll allow some leniency and reset to March 3rd or March 8th. What about Brianna Wells Watson? Any contact?
No, Your Honor.
Let's go ahead and reset that case to March 8th as well. And it's now 3:30. Have we had any contact from Lorena Broten?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Note an FTA. What about Willow Regal?
No contact, Your Honor.
Note that as an FTA. And I think the remaining cases are in-camera reviews, so the court's going to go ahead and log off.